It's almost done, the DPulse 2018, second edition. What's your perspective on the Digital Pulse? What's going on out there in the moment?
Yeah, I'm very excited about the whole experience here. Yeah, it was fantastic to see many colleagues with the same mindset, but also a lot of people with a totally different perspective. I think that's DPulse. You really need to set the drum beat for acting as a community into the same direction. I see a lot of wisdom. I see pockets of glory, but I do not see a united force yet. Everyone is focusing on his own or her own creativity. But now with the digitization, there need to be some standards, there need to be some platform discussions in order then to unite the technology with, of course, also the creativity. And that's where digital marketing is heading all about. And that's what needs to be much, much more orchestrated here. And that's what also needs a certain governance, I think. And creativity and governance, that's an interesting combination.
So now you're with IBM, very interesting company, very powerful brand, huge transformation process, I would say, looking at it from the outside. What is the biggest challenge for IBM at the moment in this global digital transformation age?
Yes, I think it's, we have a lot of clients, they walk from digital modernization to digital transformation, and it's on us to help them into the digital reinvention. So really, seeing things from a total different angle. And that's also our own challenge. How can we also change with the required speed and not being a B2C company? So that's where some of our, or let's say some digital companies or digital giants have a fantastic position because they can scale innovation very, very fast. Now our mantra is that we are not locking in clients, that we never will be your competitors in your core business. And so it's a total different philosophy, it's a total different value set. But we also see that having values needs to create value also for our own company. And of course that's then a different question on ethics and how you do really professional services.
I know you're half Japanese, half Swiss, and you live in Zurich.
Yes.
Now, this actually is positioned as the heartbeat of the digital industry in Switzerland. If you compare Switzerland to other European countries, what's the difference in terms of digital, of course? How digital is Swiss today?
Okay, I think the Swiss people are very open-minded to digital gadgets. Now when it comes to digital marketing, I think there is still a classic combination of or let's say a historically grown combination of classical channels and digital channels. So I think the industry here needs to be much, much more open-minded to push digitally much, much stronger and not just have the ambition to be a star locally, but to have a reputation internationally, if not globally. And that's also maybe the modesty of the Swiss people here. Yeah? So you need to go for a global impression. You need to leave a global footprint. It's not good enough just to be a hero here in Switzerland.
We had the chance to talk earlier, and I found out very interesting things about you as a private person. Of course, business-wise, you're traveling the globe back and forth. Is there like a hub or like a melting pot still out there, like geolocation focused, or is it all digital and it's all zeros and ones and it doesn't matter where you are at the moment?
Yeah, well, it definitely matters. Where is home for you? Is it where your phone is, or is it where your heart is, or where you feel comfortable? On the other side, growth and comfort do not coexist. So how do you balance both of that? For me, as being half Japanese and half Swiss, at the moment I try to make a little bit of a provocative statement to a lot of Western-oriented people, because a lot of people are just looking into the US and see what Amazon and other companies are doing, but you need to have an eye on the Asian companies, including Tencent, SoftBank and Alibaba. And that's where a lot of additional innovation, but also pressure for the European companies is coming from. So you need to balance it, because you are under attack from the East and the West as a European company.
Right. If I would take you out of the game and send you on a sabbatical for 6 or 12 months, what would you do?
Wow, that's I have done that already and took my family to Australia. Okay. And I will even do that. I will go to Japan now and walk through some of the landscapes I've never experienced so far. I also will dive a little bit into the history of our family to find out even more about the roots, because my kids are asking me about the roots, and roots are important. Every tree is falling if you do not have the right roots, so you better know your roots.
If you could go all the way back and start your career all over, Would you do everything like the way you did it, or would you do something totally different? No tech, no digital, I don't know, be in some craft segment, do something with your hands, I don't know.
Well, as a Swiss, of course, you didn't know at that time that you can earn money when playing tennis, but I think that needs some natural talent, so I don't have that. On the other side, I always was very, very happy to be in the consulting area and also now to add then the digital marketing components. There's one thing which I would change. I would learn an instrument much, much earlier, so that you can bring also that capabilities and that additional also inspirational source into things which I'm doing. Also as a little bit of a balancing point to some structured work that we're doing.
That would be actually my next question. What is your source of inspiration and motivation?
I think it's my environment. It's for me it's nature and also the social environment I'm in. I have the pleasure to have a lot of great people, around me, with me, and working with me who are, and also my friends and colleagues. And that combination with also having an open dialogue culture, that is the source of inspiration for me, and that gives me a lot. So, but I also try to give back. It's always give and take, that you can keep things in balance.
If I could set up a lunch tomorrow, 2 hours, one-on-one, private session, who should that be and why?
Well, of course, I would like to confront a leader in the US. Because I would like to understand even more about the person. You hear a lot out of the press, and sometimes I would like to understand if it's really right that a P at the right spot and the resident can become a president. So is it really worth peeing around? Mm-hmm. Things like that I would ask.
Folks, great guy, great closing keynote. Thank you so much for joining us, and we hope to see you back in Zurich.
Thanks a lot. Thanks. Have a good one. Thanks, Robert.